Hello. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I say welcome back. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Ketan and I call myself that day-to-day guy, and the story behind this is the fact that I'm just a normal guy, a day-to-day guy, living his life and sharing some of my experiences along the way. And they're just that, they're my experiences. It's not necessarily gospel, but it's just things that have worked for me. And as you can see, this week's video, Sales Skills 101, and it's a subject that I'm really passionate about because sales is predominantly where I've built my career when I started out in retail, and then in various different types of sales since then. That word often scares people, and the thing about sales is we've got a lot of talented people in society who are scared to sell, and therefore their talents are never ever shown and never make an income from their talents because people are scared to sell. And what is sales? If you look at it fundamentally, sales is nothing more than communicating your ideas to another person. In most cases, a customer, client, call them what you will. And that's all it is. It's communication. It's not about cajoling somebody into buying something, although that is one of the many strategies, and different people you talk to will give you different ideas. In my whole life, I've been through different types of sales environments, and I'm at a point now where I see sales very differently to how I used to see it. But fundamentally, where do you begin with this? We all have a fear of talking to people. We all have a fear of rejection, and one of the best ways of getting rid of that is just by practicing. But first of all, before you practice anything, you need people to practice with. So Jim Rohn, as a guy I used to follow, I still follow to be fair, but unfortunately he's passed away, but his learnings still carry on. And he talked about how if you have two people, one who's an excellent salesperson who closes everything, he could speak to 10 people and he'll get 10 sales. And then you have somebody who's more of an amateur. If they speak to 10 people, they get 1 sale. However, if that latter person spoke to 100 people, they would have the same result as the expert. So our job as that out there is to plant seeds. And as you know, with seeds, the more seeds you plant, the more you're gonna reap. But not all the seeds are gonna harvest. And the same thing applies here. Your job is to put your product out there, put your service out there, and some people will buy and some people won't buy. But the point is, be that latter person. Speak to more people. Make up for in numbers what you lack in skill. And that's a real key phrase to remember. Just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you can't achieve. You just have to do more than the person who is good at something. Does that make sense? We're not talking about athletics and sports and so on here. We're just talking about a simple concept of talking to people. And talking to people, this is not just going to impact your sales life. This is going to have a positive impact on other areas of your life. I've made so many friends and met so many interesting people just through conversations. I'll be at a restaurant somewhere, start talking to the table next door to me, a bus stop, wherever, just random places, talking to people. And one of the things I've found in sales is rapport building. If people like you and if you find common ground with somebody, it's much easier to start a conversation. If you're out somewhere and somebody compliments you on something, or somebody starts talking about something that you like, you light up and you become more open to talking to that person. And you want to create that environment for the person that you're trying to sell to. And it's got to be done in an authentic way. So this is the balance here. Obviously when you initially start doing this, you'll start doing this in a way where it might be a little bit, dare I say, artificial, but you'll just get into the habit of finding things about people, and talking to them about them. Sometimes customers come in and they've got an accent, American accent or whatever. I'll ask whereabouts in the States are you from, and I've been to 24 states, so there's always some sort of link there, and we can have a conversation about it. Earlier last month, customer came in with his wife, and he had the same watch as me. We started talking about watches, and just find some common ground, and even yourself. Once you find common ground, you'll find it's easier to talk to people. That's kind of the best advice I can give around sales. Don't fear sharing your idea with people. Because if somebody's seen you on Instagram, or somebody's seen your website, or somebody's seen your local advertisement, for whatever service you're providing, they already are sort of 70% of the way. They're calling you because they have some final questions, and it's your job. The way I see it, when a customer walks into our workshop, my job isn't to close them. My job is to answer their remaining questions and then let them make the decision based on all of the information. I no longer have the philosophy that, I must close every single person that comes in. No, not in a lazy way, but I want my life to be as easy as possible and to flow as nicely as possible. So the minute I'm met with resistance, it's not about giving up. I'm just kind of like, all right, fine. You're what we call a sorter. You're sorting people. You're sorting those who are going to buy, and you're sorting those who aren't going to buy. And it doesn't matter which way they go. That doesn't matter. The point is you've got to find out as quickly as possible, is this person going to buy? Because there's plenty of buyers out there. If you think about some of the stuff that people sell, people buy all sorts of crap, So as long as you're providing value and providing a good product or a service, people are going to buy. Yesterday I had a visit from a window cleaner. We used to have this conversation because he'd always, try and compete on price and get customers that way. And I'd say, hey, Nick, listen, you need to this is your price. This is the service you provide. You provide a great service. So stick to it. And your customers will automatically filter out, because there's somebody for every price point as well. When a customer comes in and asks us for a discount, can you do this? Can you do that? We kind of stand to our ground to some point and say, listen, this is what you're getting here. You by all means go somewhere else, but this is what you're going to get here. And more often than not, they buy from us. So there's a few things I've just kind of thrown out there in this in this video. But the key thing is, don't be afraid of talking to people. Don't be afraid of sales. You're not gonna by practicing this, it's not going to have any negative impact on you. It's going to make you a more confident person. That's another thing as well. When you're talking to people and when people are listening to you talking about your product, they're paying money, so they want to pay money to somebody who's confident in delivering what they want. Especially like if you're a builder or providing some sort of tradesman service, confidence goes a long way. So how do you get confident? A, by doing more work, but B, by talking to more people as well. And they are just people. Let's humanize it. Let's not think of it as a customer-client relationship. These are just people who've walked in or who've messaged you, and they are asking about your product. That's it. They've taken an interest in your product, but they're people. They're just like you. We go and buy things as well. So think about the experience that you have and how you like to be sold to. I don't like to be sold to. I just want someone to answer my questions honestly and care about me as a person. Because in my mind, the amount of customers that come in sometimes, they say, I want to put a mirror TV in such and such place. And I say, well, I wouldn't put one there, it's too low or whatever. And I'm not focused on the sale. I'm just focused on, listen, I just want to give this person the advice that when 6 months have passed, 1 year has passed, they are happy with the fact that they bought my product, not having any kind of, regrets about it. So that's kind of where I'm at, which is a bit more of a different approach to how somebody else might talk to you about it. When I was younger, it was all close, sale, at any cost. And now I'm just slightly different. And I wish that I'd adopted this strategy when I was younger. I did have this in retail. In Comet, I was very much like this. Where somebody comes in, I think to myself, okay, they've got a £500 budget. What would I do with that £500? I'd buy this product, that product, so on and so forth. And question asking rather. They're asking you questions, but it's also your job to ask them questions as well. Get to know your customer, get to know their needs. That will help you fulfill those needs better, because that also shows that you care. It's not just a one-way communication where they're asking you questions and you're answering them. We ask people's TV watching habits. What time of day do you watch TV? Because in our product, you have a bit more glare than you do with a normal television. With different glass types to counter this. So the more questions we ask, what colors have you got in your room? It helps us, it enables us to advise better with frame choice and so on. And then once again, it shows you people care. And I love this phrase, he who cares wins. And that's such a true thing in life, not just in sales, but in every other aspect of life. So yeah, pretty much that's my basic sales advice. And if you go out there and you start practicing this, And as with anything, the more you practice something, you're going to become better at it, you're going to become more proficient at it, and you're going to become more confident with it. So that's my sales advice, folks. Thank you for watching, and if you, as always, if you like my videos, if you like my vibe, then give the video a like, subscribe if you want to. And I always say this, this is not, I'm not doing this for any kind of commercial gain. This is very much an outlet for me to make videos and talk, which I love doing. So this is all, this is why I'm doing this. So yeah, if you've taken the time to watch my video, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Ciao for now.